Well, I imagine spirits are high all around there after winning 3 games in a row. Mike, I'm curious. You're around the team every day. What changed after those first 2 weeks? Because I'm thinking, hey, you're 0-2. Here we go again. It's a rebuilding year, but that does not appear to be the case.
Yeah, I just think that Sean Payton, you know, he's got some personality traits that maybe rubs people the wrong way sometimes, and he's kind of up and down with how he is with the media. But I think he's a proven good coach. It's like Parcells, who was his mentor. Parcells moved around as a head coach, right? I mean, he was with the Giants, turned them around. He went to the Jets, turned them around. Went to the Patriots, turned them around. Dallas Cowboys turned them around. He didn't get to the promised land with those other teams, but he turned them all around. And there's just this toughness quality that they bring to new teams, and they make some. And in Sean Payton, there's a real mental toughness. I mean, when they went to Tampa Bay, it looked like they were falling apart already after 0-2. And then
Yeah.
they go to Tampa Bay, a good Tampa Bay team that beat Detroit in Detroit, and they smoked them. They smoked the Bucks, and then they went to West Virginia, and that, to me, that was kind of a boring. I think a lot of players thought that was kind of boring, but the focus was on football, even though it rained the whole time, and they didn't get real good practice in. But he obviously got them ready mentally, and they were tougher than the Jets were in the elements. You know, and then the other thing, Phil, they played good defense against Seattle, but the offense, kind of gave up 10 points there. They played good defense against the Steelers, but Bo had a couple of picks. And so once the offense didn't do much in a couple of these wins, but the defense kind of carried the day, and then the offense got going in the second half in both. I just think when you're good on defense, you can stay in every game, and if you stay in every game, you got a chance to pull them out. And that's I would say defense has been the biggest thing. Mental toughness, way more physically tough on defense, and up front because they're starting to run the ball the last couple of weeks too. And then on top of all that, Bo's playing better. He's not turning the ball over. He's a rookie. He's coming on, and so it's all adding up. And now people are trying to make sure they don't look ahead of the Chargers and say, "Geez, everyone's saying if you beat the Chargers, you could easily go 6-2 because Derek Carr's out for the Saints and Carolina stinks, and they're looking at 6-2 if they get by the Chargers. There's just one problem with that, and that's you got to get past the Chargers."
Yeah, I mean, it's a week to week league, right, Mike? You can't get
Yeah.
too far ahead of yourself. Do you think that what we've seen these last 3 weeks is for real? I mean, are they going to keep this going? Have they, turned the corner? Would you say?
Yeah, I think so if they stay healthy. Because and their defense has stayed healthy, but their defense looks for real. Um, with this, they are better up front. I mean, Zach Allen has been lights out. John Franklin Myers has added a lot up there. Their middle, DJ Jones going to the middle. He stayed healthy, and he's been hungry. He's in the final year of a contract, and he's played hungry. Malcolm Roach has been really good as a rotational guy in there. So they got four stout defensive linemen. And then with the emergence of Riley Moss at corner and Sertan stepping it up to what's one level above all pro. That's where
Yeah.
Sertan, that's where Hall of Fame caliber. That's where Sertan's been
Yeah.
playing. And then Jaquan McMillan. Really, the comparison was always to that 70-20 game in Miami last year. Probably the biggest difference personnel wise was they subbed out Asang Bassi at nickel and put in Jaquan McMillan, who wasn't dressing in the early part of last season. And he's just a tenacious, aggressive cover nickel guy who plays physical. And those three corners playing man to man has allowed the defensive line and the outside linebackers to get after the quarterback. and it's been a marriage that's really worked. And plus, um, back in the back end, PJ Locke and Brandon Jones they have way more range than what Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons had last year. So
Yeah.
it's just all adding up. Vance Joseph dialing up more creative plays. He's got the defensive line, instead of holding up blockers, penetrating the gaps and going after the backfield. It's just part of it. It's they've kept or they've caught some teams by surprise. So that's why you got to be cautiously optimistic, because they're starting to get more and more film, and the more film it is, the more your weaknesses are exposed. But it does look, if they stay healthy with that front 11 on defense, they got a chance to hang in there all year.
Riley Moss has really become a fan favorite here. I mean, this seems like the Broncos really found like a hidden gem with Moss, huh?
And Pat Surtain referred to it at the end, because he's white. He's there hadn't been a starting white cornerback on a regular basis since Jason Sehorn in 2003, and I don't know why that is. For a while that was the stigma with at running back. Remember,
Yeah.
Peyton Hillis broke that mold back in 2008, and but I tell you, Riley is he's athletic. He's long. He can jump. He's quick. He's very quick, very aggressive. He tackles. And he's actually, to me, more like Champ Bailey than Pat Surtain is, because
Hmm.
he plays with that type of aggression. And but since sixth grade, people are saying, "Well, can you play safety?" And you know why? The NFL at the combine, he said almost every team. The Broncos were a notable exception, but almost all the other teams asked him if he could switch to safety. And the Broncos liked him at corner, and it all worked out. That's why they jumped in on that third round. The Broncos made a very, very astute. Took a year because he got hurt as a rookie,
Yeah.
but their astute observation and evaluation is paying off here in year two.